Hello and welcome to It's Your Business. My name is Cindy Doherty and I'll be your host today. Today our program is welcoming Ann Zimmerman and Emily Marsh from Zimmerman and Company CPAs. First of all, I came to know Emily and Ann both a few years ago when I was teaching the business management program at Anderson High School, and they were involved with my seniors in providing an internship for that particular person, and did a great job giving them an idea of what working in the field of accounting would actually be like. So today I'd like to just talk to them a little bit about how this company came to be. I know Ann is the founder, and she's going to tell us a little bit about how she came to be a CPA and just how long her company has been in existence. So Ann, could you tell us a little bit about that?
All right. Business has been in existence for 26 years now. Started in one of the back bedrooms in the house when I was raising children, and after they were all getting a little older, it grew, and my husband finally said, okay, you've taken over too many rooms in the house, and we got an office. So it sort of was organic growth, and it's always been organic growth. We've never really done any marketing and all. We just work for people that refer others. We become friends with our clients, I think is one way to put it. We like what we do.
So you don't really need to go out and do marketing per se. It's based on your reputation and word of mouth, and people are happy with the service you provide and so forth.
Yeah, I think that's what makes us successful and why we like what we do, yes.
That's always the key, is that I think people can tell that you love what you do when you actually do. We talked about an interesting concept when we spoke earlier, and you mentioned, how can accounting do good? That's kind of your words to live by at your company. How do you think, in the world of accounting, you all give back to the community? What's your passion in accounting?
Well, I think we have to enjoy what we do, and so you want to find that balance of bringing other enjoyment, outside enjoyment, into work, and vice versa. So we try to be as charitable and enjoy doing that type of work. So we do a lot of pro bono work and work with some organizations, some local organizations, such as SAGA, the Substance Coalition of Anderson, and they deal with substance abuse and high school kids and around locally in the area.
And what do you do with them?
We handle their bookkeeping and accounting and reporting, so that they can present to the board. They know which programs they're working and are, and to help them get future funding as well.
Right.
So.
And as you mentioned, it's all pro bono work. This is all volunteer.
Or deeply discounted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some is. And we do a few other charitable organizations that we work with. DET3 Fund, which is covers all the funding for shipping goods and supplies to the troops. That was started by a vet himself that we work with. Yes, yes.
Chuck Donabedian, he's out of Milford and a client, and it's a passion of his. So we do all that for him, so he can, every dollar that goes to getting these supplies to the troops.
So that's another interesting way to connect, though. He was a client of yours, first of all, and then kind of morphed into this involvement, which it's really neat.
And I think one of the most interesting ones is Soteni, which is a international group, focuses on AIDS awareness, people affected by AIDS. A lot of their work is done in Kenya. And Emily, if you want to tell them about your adventure with them. We do their work, and Emily does their work in their tax and accounting, but more than that.
Yes, adventure would be a good word. I've traveled over to Kenya twice now, and the focus was to bring some of the business and the formality of record keeping and accounting to individuals who are starting their own business. Because it's more about trying to start income generating projects than just giving out donations over and over again. You want self-sustaining projects and people. So we worked with a number of individuals who were either trying, had gone through school in one of the trade focuses, either on sewing or with masonry and different work like that, and are now trying to start their own operations. So,
are you able to follow up with any of those?
Actually, yes,
individuals?
Quite a few. Yeah, we stay in contact with, and whether it's through, so Tenny has a lot of college interns that work for them as well, so they do updates and meet with some of the sponsors and updates on the programs and how they're going.
That's got to be satisfying to know that you had a part in the success of these people, and the ongoing success, like you said,
Yes.
which is extremely important.
Yes.
And I think it's also important for our audience to know that that was at your expense, that nobody paid your way over to Kenya.
That is correct.
Yeah. So
And
that's
she
giving back.
collected laptops, used laptops before she went to leave behind with these business people.
Oh, that's really
So
neat.
she trained them
Yes.
on them and left them there when she left.
That's great.
Yeah, because
I'm sure-
resources are obviously
Right,
hard
they
to come
wouldn't be
by.
able to
So
afford that.
things that people aren't using here any longer, that's a few years old, is brand new and works wonders for them. So.
Things that we take for granted.
Exactly.
I'm sure they were excited
Very
to
much.
have all that equipment. That's great.
Yeah.
I know, Anne, one of your passions in the world of accounting is consulting. How do you see that as part of the service that you provide?
Well, I think one of the things we can add the most value to, and both Emily and I work on this, we sort of share clients, is small businesses that aren't big enough to have their own CFO. We work with them so that we can advise. We really become a true part of the management team. We might do all their bookkeeping and such so that they don't even need an in-house bookkeeper, and it becomes a real efficient thing for them. But then where the real value's added, I feel, is consulting. We're working with one now that's a bunch of investors that came to us, and a business is struggling, and so we're working through that with them. It's sort of ongoing every day. I think it's a big part of it. We've spent about 2 years now studying what we do and consciously doing that. We had a gentleman that came in and worked with us for a while, just sort of forcing us through the process. And during that, we decided, yes, we'll do taxes, but that's not our love. So we do tax work for all of our clients, but that's really a byproduct of what we do for the clients, which is advise them, help them grow, help them succeed, and really are their main consultant, if you will, in a lot of areas.
Yeah, and to add on to that, to give the level of service that we want to give and that our clients deserve, having that extra burden during the crunch time of tax season, to people that we see once a year. Again, we wanted to stay focused with those business clients that we're working with on a regular basis,
Right.
and helping their businesses succeed and grow. So,
And so now when new clients come by, we do look at each other and say, does that meet the
our ideal client.
because that's important for the client too. It's
Sure.
not fair just to say we'll take all of our clients are word of mouth pretty much, and so we do refer off some that we think they'll be better off because that's not really, they're not in that same focus
Exactly.
of what our client should look like.
And I think that's what being a professional is all about. In case you just joined us, today we're talking with Ann Zimmerman and Emily Marsh of Zimmerman Accounting. And going back to what you all were just talking about, I think the public sometimes views accounting as sort of one-dimensional. But what you all have been talking about today is important in that you do so many other things besides just taxes or bookkeeping. You really are far-reaching in the efforts that you put into community involvement. Another activity that I know you're very passionate about is the 40 Developmental Assets Initiative that has to do with the schools.
Yes.
I wanted to get that correct. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how you're involved with it?
Okay. Well, I have 11 grandchildren, all of which will or are going through Forest Hill schools. I happen to think that it's a great school system.
I agree.
My kids went through Anderson, IHM, and then Anderson, and the last 3 years maybe since Dr. Jackson's been the superintendent, they've brought in this program called the Developmental 40 Assets, and it's a research base, so it's a fact-based study that shows that students are more likely to succeed the more of these 40 assets that they have. So it's broken into external and internal assets, and there's 20 of each, and it might be, external might be that they have at least 3 other adults in their life other than parents that take an interest in their life. Or one might be that they read for pleasure. So there's these assets that they've studied, and the district is trying to roll this out and really make it a core part of their curriculum. And about 2 or 3 years ago when this started, I think because of my role with the Cincinnati Chamber, they asked me to sit on the core development committee, and I've been working with them on that. We've sort of been working with it, and they do all the work. I just attend the meetings and talk to them. But now we have finally gotten to a place where I think we've got some real concrete things that the business community can do. Because a big part of this and a big part of the school's push now is partnering with the community around it.
Which is great.
The businesses and the churches and, you know, the government, everything. And so with the Chamber's blessing, I took it to the board of the Chamber. I'm a member of the board. And we are developing a business resource directory. Because so often businesses would love to get involved and partner with the schools, but they don't really know specifically what to do. What do I do? And the teachers might love to bring in the resources they have in their community, but they're not sure how it works. So our goal is to let the curriculum drive it and have businesses such as ourselves or all the other, I think there's an estimate that there's 3,500 businesses in this area.
Wow.
Which is a lot of businesses, and a
lot.
lot of them are small. Some are bigger. I mean, we have Mercy and, you know, some big ones too. When it fits into the curriculum, then they'll be able to look to this resource directory and say, oh, look, we have someone who's an expert in marketing. Maybe they'd come in and talk to the class. And to give a quick example, at a meeting we had just this week, Mercy is building their new patient tower. And they're in the processes of design and zoning and all that. And they have a problem, and I don't understand it completely by any means. I was eavesdropping really more than anything. But they have a problem with parking. They're missing, say, 20 parking spots that they need to figure out how it's going to work once they put this tower up. And they're going to turn that over to the schools and the students. And as a math project, they are literally going to solve that issue for them.
That's a great idea. It's just, you know, another example of how, you know, to be successful, we can't be so isolated. That why not partner with other aspects of the community to solve these problems? Then it just becomes...
And it's learning for the children.
Oh, absolutely.
And the children are the future of our community.
And they see the practicality of that. They see their work, you know, come to fruition in a real way. They're solving a problem.
Right, and that leads into one of the other programs that that we're involved with, and a lot of local accountants and CPAs is the FETCH program, which is used to be the Accounting for Kids, and is now actually through the Ohio Society of CPAs, that focuses on teaching elementary school 5th graders, I believe, about accounting and budgeting and things like that, planning. So
excellent.
It's a great fun game on their level about, you know, having a dog and the expenses and the income that come from having a pet. So it's a great thing, and that's actually going to be happening in all of the elementary schools this year. So
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, unfortunately, we are just about out of time, but I would like to thank Ann Zimmerman and Emily Marsh today from Zimmerman and Company CPAs for joining us. I'm sure that our audience has learned a lot about all the other things that they're involved in besides accounting, and we wish you well with your new initiative with the schools. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Cindy.